Hello, and welcome to the Wanderer's Guide. I'm your host, Ed Preston, a retired guide with over 40 years of experience working in the Southwest. In this video, I'm going to take you to one of the most epic cliff dwellings and rock art panels in the entire state of Arizona. It's tucked away in a rarely visited canyon just outside of Sedona. Rarely visited because most of the locals don't even know where this is, and those who do probably won't tell you. It's one of those places that people like so much that, well, they just don't want to share it. It's actually not a difficult hike at all, only about 2.5 miles round trip with almost no elevation gain really. But it is hard to find. So most of the hikers who do venture into this canyon end up missing it completely. They walk right past the unmarked social trails that they would need to find in order to visit either of these places. In fact, if you've ever taken a Jeep tour to what's known as the Western Canyons of Sedona, you've driven right past the trailhead for this canyon. Thousands of people do that every week without ever knowing what's hidden just a short walk away. But don't worry, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can find it too. To set ourselves up for an early start, we spent the night in one of the free designated camping areas along Forest Road 525, then got up at sunrise and headed out. While this is the same road that Jeep tours use, it's passable to just about any vehicle. On this particular morning, we're in my Chevy van, but I've also done this drive many times in a Toyota Prius. You just have to go a little slower, which is totally fine because the drive out here is absolutely gorgeous. After all, that's why those Jeep tours come out here. 20 minutes after leaving camp, we were at the trailhead. And a little more than 20 minutes after that, we were walking along the base of a cliff, looking at ancient images that stretch for over 100 yards and stretch back in time over 4,000 years. Archaeologists believe that the Verde Valley has been occupied for at least 8,000 years, maybe longer. But the rock art record really only goes back 4,000 years ago, when the area was occupied by desert archaic gatherer hunters who were moving through in and out, just following game animals. About 1,000 years ago, different groups moved in or maybe evolved out of the desert archaic culture, known as the Sinagua and the Verde Hohokam. Sinagua in Spanish means without water, and that gives you a good idea of what these folks were doing. They were farmers, subsistence farmers, growing corn, squash, and beans in an environment that only gets about 15 or 16 inches of rain annually on the average. And that's a tough proposition, but they were not just surviving, they were thriving, taking advantage of every little microclimate and every spring, every seasonal water source. And they were building trade networks that extended for hundreds of miles in every direction. So we find trade items here from very long distances that were carried in from very long distances. And they also left behind some really interesting rock art for us to look at. The rock art includes everything from handprints to geometric patterns and images of animals and humans. The geometric designs, nobody really knows what they mean. They could represent lots of different things. In some cases, we'll see a panel that clearly represents a snake, a diamondback rattlesnake more than likely. We'll see other panels that represent horny-toed lizards and certainly human figures. Some of the rock art that was left behind by the farmers appears to mark celestial events like solstices and equinoxes. Some of it's probably ceremonial related to ceremonies that we can only guess at today. And then some of it's probably just pure storytelling, marking events that left an indelible stamp on the psyche of the people for some reason. To me, the most moving images of all are the handprints because they're so personal and poignant. You can imagine someone standing exactly where you're standing 900 years ago, and they put their hand on the rock and left a mark that they existed and that they were here. By the way, do not do that today. Not only is it bad form, it's also illegal. And hopefully you brought your cell phone with you or another camera, so we have a much better way of marking the fact that we were here Today, you can simply stand in front of the rock art panel and take a selfie, which is not destructive. That's the way you do it now. Right across the canyon from the rock art panel is an impressive cliff dwelling that's one of the most picturesque in all of Sedona. Getting up to the dwellings does require a bit of scrambling, but again, it's not that difficult. The key is you just have to know exactly where the social trail is that leads up through a break in the cliffs. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot harder to get there. So, how can you do this hike? The exact location of this rock art panel is revealed on pages 9 and 10 of Chapter 2 in The Wanderer's Guide to Hiking Sedona. That's an ebook that also comes with GPS tracks, so you can do this hike with complete confidence. The GPS data also works on any GPS-enabled device or in a lot of all the most popular hiking apps. So yes, this rock art panel and the cliff dwelling are hidden, and you do have to be willing to leave the main trail in order to find them. If you do decide to come out here, it's very important that you leave this exactly as you found it. Under no circumstances should you touch the rock art because the oil from human hands causes it to deteriorate over time, and if enough people show up and touch it, the period of time that it takes for it to deteriorate is very short. Under no circumstances should you be carving your initials into the rock art panel or any of the other rocks that are around or into any of the trees that are here. And just in case you're tempted to break the rules when you come out here, do keep in mind that the Forest Service has cameras in this area. And they also record the license plate of every car that goes into the parking lot. So they will hunt you down. As always, have fun out there, be safe, be responsible, and take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more great content whenever we release a new video. We'll see you next time on The Wanderer's Guide.